the need to have colonoscopies for screening, and to consider the role genetics may have in cancer and to be tested for it when that's appropriate. Like Carlene, Scott is being recognized tonight at the Champions of Hope banquet, where he will be the recipient of this year's Amgen Breakaway from Cancer Award. So we're very glad to have Scott here today, and he's going to share a few remarks with you about his experience.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. I found out about 3 years ago that I was going to suffer a career change. A career change which was a shock. Nobody likes to have a career change quite like this, but I was told, as the doctor said, that I had stage 4 colon cancer, and it had spread to my kidney, liver, and lungs. So when we got to the shock of the news, I sat down and I said, I spoke with my family and all that, and I said, when can we start treatment? What can we do? And immediately I went into defense mode. How can we help others beat this disease? How can we cope with it? And how can we move on with the future? And one of the things my doctor said was, there was an item out there called genetic testing. And the first thing I thought of was wires and probes and all this. And he said, no, it's a very simple thing, a blood test, and it's a gift of life. Cancer, as we know, it doesn't care who you are, how old you are, what color you are, what breed of life you are. It's there. So we live with cancer every day. But how can we help the future? How can we help the future? First of all, we can spread the word about testing. If it's breast, prostate, colon, whatever, we need to get the word out. How can we help the future of tomorrow? 1 in 2 men in this country, is it the country or the world, will suffer some sort of cancer. 1 in 3 females. So we need to do, I'm asking you today, we need to do our homework too. I have my wife Angie and I have 3 children. All three children were tested for genetic testing. Dad has the bad gene. It's not Levi's, it's not Jordache. It's the bad gene that I inherited from one of my parents. Both my parents died from colon cancer, which I didn't know. I was at the age of 22 when my mom and dad passed away. And that was a long time ago. There was no genetic testing back then. There was, you know, as we said earlier, cancer was taboo. You didn't talk about it. Cancer was a bad word. The one thing I've learned about cancer, and you've heard it before, we can survive. Upon the testing of my 3 children, 2 came back negative, and my daughter, Allison, came back positive. She inherited my bad genes. Well, some of my bad habits, which she was a great kid. So we sat down, and immediately I thought, my goodness, what have I given my daughter? I've given her this curse. What we learned from this is we gave her, the doctors, and thanks to modern cancer science, we've given her and other people the gift of life. Allison will be monitored every year with a colonoscopy for the rest of her life, and they have her on a program that when they find the polyps, first it was if they find the polyps. So at age 14, she found out last year that she had 12 polyps. Doctors took the polyps out, and she's on a program for every year. we take it one step at a time. I feel confident, and I feel in good hands with the doctors up today and the doctors up tomorrow. She will live, hopefully, a normal life. She couldn't be here today because she had homecoming, a bonfire, homecoming dance tonight and all that, so she lives a normal life. The one thing we learned from genetic testing is in the altered gene called FAP, and I will not try to pronounce it because I mess it up every time. It can skip a generation. It can go every generation. But if you know your family history, what I'd like to do is when I go someplace, I'll give people a challenge. Take this piece of paper and put 2 circles on there, kind of like the old Amway. You draw circles off. I want to know your family history. And you start going down through. A lot of people don't think about this. Well, the family history, well, this one was married to that one, they jumped over the fence and all that. The one thing you learn about it is, you learn about your mom and dad, you learn about your grandparents, you learn about your uncles. You look down through, okay, grandpa had colon, we don't know what, mom and my father had colon cancer, my mom had colon cancer. You look down through, oh geez, uncle so-and-so had cancer. You start seeing a pattern. When you see the pattern, it throws up a flag. Wow, could I have this? Maybe you could consult your doctor if you're going through some sort of cancer. Ask them. Not all cancers are able to be tested. Go through the process, a simple blood test. That's all it is. There's no wires or anything. But the one thing we need to get out, we need to get out prevention, whether it's colon or whatever cancer you have. Get out the word, you test. There is other tests available out there, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad era to have cancer. It's not a bad era. So through the 100, it's either 98, 99, or 100 cocktails that I've had, the gift of life is great. Every 2 weeks I sit down and I have 2 monitors hooked up, 5 bags hooked up. And the whole time I'm sitting there, we figured out everything in the world, as I said. But the one thing there is hope. There's hope for tomorrow. Every day we live with whatever disease we have, whatever problem we have, there is hope for tomorrow. And there's hope and comfort. The comfort is maybe tomorrow they'll find this massive treatment. It's like the Dempsey Center, hope and healing. You folks are here today for a great event. You've touched a lot of lives out there. Being a cancer patient and seeing the people walking, the people running, that is hope for tomorrow. You folks have donated your time. Some people don't even have a disease. Some are cured. We call it cured. Hope and healing. And that's what we need to think about. Help your neighbor. If somebody is diagnosed, reach out to them. Not all of them can be here today because they're having treatments. They're too sick, they can't be here. But reach out, hope, healing. There's hope for tomorrow. Medicine, but there's hope for us too. And get your testings, preach your testings. They're either going to tell you, yes, I'll get it done, or they'll tell you to shut up. They'll look for that, as I've been told, they'll walk around me and say, geez, where is it? Where's your on-off switch? So, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the community. And if you're having a treatment, good luck in your journey. There is hope in today, and there's a hope for tomorrow. Thank you.